Hey guys.
Hey.
So we just finished Beneath the Swirling Sky, which is part of a series called The Restorationists, and it is written by Carolyn Leiloglou. That's how I'm going to say it. And so, what did you think?
Yeah, overall I liked it. It did start a little slow, but you had to lay it. There was a lot to lay the foundation.
Yeah.
But it's about art. I mean, it's time travel and art, and it's for like the middle grades, right? So it's easy read. You know what I mean? I read it pretty fast, and you can go through the chapters pretty quick. But it'd be fun to read with your kids if they are interested in art, especially because it took us on a whole tangent of looking at the art that they talk about, and it was neat.
Yeah, I liked it. I felt like the writing wasn't as good as some other upper elementary, middle grade fiction, but it does pick up towards the end. I felt like the last half was better for me.
Yes. The action picks up, and then it kind of takes off much more. Yeah.
Once you get past the foundation, like you were saying, it seemed like there were some really interesting pieces, and I really felt like when they're in the storm, when they're in the Sea of Galilee,
painting, right?
And he realizes, that he, could just open it apart. This is
picture of them
inside. And he's struggling, and their boat is sinking, and he's like, I know I just skipped to the back to the end. Sorry about that. I just felt like, I just like this part.
Yeah.
Georgia is like, do something, and he decides that he's going to paint over the hole and get them out of there. And he's bailing it out, and he sees people in the boat, and my daughter was like, maybe that's Jesus, and like, yes, you picked up on that. Of course, then they say it later.
Yeah.
But
anytime a book brings in Jesus.
Yeah. And you can tell that, I mean, it's just, let me just read this paragraph. He says later, his breath caught as Jesus looked straight at him. It was like Jesus could see into the depths of Vincent's soul. His anger at his parents, his decision to hide the truth from Georgia, the way he hadn't allowed himself to care about the other kids. That ugly dragon was who he really was on the inside. He felt more exposed than the people in the nude painting. He expected Jesus would turn away in disgust, but Jesus held his gaze, eyes soft and filled with love. I mean, when he talks about the dragon that he had painted before, I was thinking about that's like your sinful nature. You have this dragon inside you that just wants to wants to do the wrong thing. But Jesus looks at that, and or God looks at us with that and just sees Jesus. So
right, overlooks that. Yeah. So the last part really got into kind of the change of the characters as they went through, and obviously learning about Jesus. But they're going through these traveling in paintings, so they're like go inside of a painting, and kind of early on they said something about there's like this part called the corridor between paintings, and she says the corridor is kind of like an echo of an artist's mind. It can reverberate with the artist's emotions. So it's just interesting to see these paintings. We've seen some of these, some of them I'd never heard of, and then see them go into them and how they view it with their mind and their emotions and how they see it is really interesting.
And there will be more of these. It looks like this author's next one in the series comes out in September of 2024. So September 9th, I think. And I would be interested to see how she does more of that. Do we get to see more of the artist's mind when they start going into paintings? Because this one's such like, this is an origin story, if you will. It's kind of like laying the foundation.
Yeah, giving us the characters of what this is going to be about, and what they're kind of, the restorationists, the people that help to save the paintings or to restore them, and the people that distort them, that want to ruin them, that want to put propaganda in them. So it's neat to see good and evil.
Yeah. And there's this like new faction or something of Aunt Adelaide's. Is she a distortionist? Not really, because she's not doing what they're doing.
Right.
But she's not a restorationist.
Right. She's like just a different group, and to find out what she's going to do. Yeah, and the family, it's a cousins, two people that are cousins, and so it's interesting to see the dynamics of the family, and
Yeah, I just jumped to the end. Sorry about that. But yeah, to set it up.
Yeah.
It's family. And they talk about only certain, like only people in the family have these gifts.
They can go into like traveling. And so the Vincent's sister is adopted, but she can go into the painting. So that's kind of where the story starts, is she's in a painting and he didn't even know that he could do that. He doesn't know anything about it, whereas his cousin does. So it's interesting to, and
they find all these other kids that have wanderers that have wandered into paintings.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see how that turns out too. Like, are these wanderers actually family members from other restorationists that were killed?
Right.
Or is it like, how are they getting into them? Do they are they naturally like, I don't know. I guess I imagine, maybe God's just like, we just still need these people, so I'm just going to create new families that have these gifts, or, I don't know.
Yeah. How is this all going to play out? That's true. Yeah. But the author gives a lot in the back about herself and where she got kind of this concept, and all the art is, in here. And so we got to look at Kate kind of brought up all the pictures on the internet, so we could kind of see all the artwork, so that then you feel like you can see from their perspective what it looks like. So I would highly recommend looking at the art.
I'll link all of the paintings that were mentioned in this book in below in the info of the video, so people can find it too. I did all the hard work already.
Yes. She talks about art is powerful, and she talks about the theft of some of these major pieces of art, and some of them have never been recovered. And so just you can read more about those. That seemed really interesting to me. Just all the stuff you could go to just from this one book, all the things that we kind of rabbit trailed onto.
Yeah, I would like to look more into that.
That sounds very.
I wonder if there's documentaries out there. Art thieves and heists.
Yes, because there was big ones.
There was some. I don't know if you have it marked in your book, because I didn't mark at the beginning. But there was a part where they really talked about art being power, and I didn't mark it, but it was just about like during World War II, when the Nazis stole artwork.
Yes,
and
I feel like they used that like as a tool too against people, and they sold some of it, or they used it as like ransom. You know what I mean? Things like that. But also, they were talking about. I just mean, today we still see people throwing like paint or something, food onto these paintings, these famous paintings at museums, and it's just always. I've always been like, why? But it's like once this kind of helps to realize everything behind the art.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, and they've talked, like recently, people have talked about buying artwork as an investment. And I never really understood that either, but it kind of, there is something about it. And I would like to really sit with that and explore that more.
Yeah. It definitely this book definitely gives you a lot to think about on a higher level. It gets you started on that. So.
And I read it with my kids, and they were enjoying it. And I tried to pull up the artwork when it was referenced in the book, and like show them what it looked like. A lot of them I didn't know. I mean, I knew Starry Night, but that was the only one I really feel like I knew.
Yeah, I've known the artists. I've heard of most of them, their names, but I didn't know all their works. Yes. So there's so much, to learn.
So it's exposure for your kids. So I would take it as that. So it's just there's a lot of there's faith, there's art, it's literature.
Yeah. It's overall, I would recommend it. For sure. And definitely I'll be excited for the next one, because I think it'll just get better. Yeah.
I'm interested to see I didn't even read what the next one is about. I'm sure there is a little synopsis, so I'll have to do that too.
Yeah, totally.
So on to our next read.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about this one?
No, I think just, check it out, look at it.
I would give it like 7 out of 10 for me, I think.
Yeah.
Just
I agree. The writing wasn't like way up there, but it definitely captures you. It keeps your attention once you get into the main part, the adventure part. And then it just, if you can go on those trails of like looking at the art and talking about that, then that makes it way more interesting. Yes.
And it made my kids one of my kids wanted to go out and paint today as we were reading the end of it. So we did that. So that was nice.
Yeah. Kind of brings some creativity out in everyone. So
So hope you enjoyed it too, if you read it with us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll put our next read out there, and you can read along with us.
Yeah. Happy reading.
Thank you.